What's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of Nerdy Entertainment Syndicate, the audio edition. Today we're coming to you from Stars Hollow, where we're going to meet Rory and Lorelai at Luke's Diner for some coffee.
Where we at?
You want to watch Gilmore Girls? The return of Gilmore Girls, dude.
Is it already on Netflix?
Yeah. Binge that 4-episode season like nothing else.
It was just a 4-episode season?
Yeah. It's just going like... Each episode is based on like a season. Summer, what happens in summer, what happens in fall and winter. It's like...
Oh. And is it supposed to do with catching up with where are they now kind of deal?
I have no idea. I didn't actually watch it.
Oh, I was going to say. I was like, wow. I mean, if you're into that, that's cool.
It's a thing.
So, guys, this is Lowe's. How you doing, Drew?
Not too bad, man. Feels like it's been a while.
It does.
It's been a while.
Our lives are kind of hectic, but we'll find some normalcy pretty soon.
Try to get things settled. Kind of work something out with each other's schedule somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But like I said, we also losing this room, but we'll gain another fortress of solitude.
It has been looking nicer and nicer every time I come over, just because it's been getting cleaner and cleaner.
Mm-hmm. But what's going on, man? What's on the agenda today?
We get our fair share of news these last couple weeks, and we haven't been able to get together so as often or like our weekly basis to get to it. But we picked pieces here and there of like cool new things that have popped up in the last couple days and over the last couple weeks that have really like tickled our nerdy.
Let's start off from the top.
Pickles.
Alien Covenant poster.
Did you see that?
No, bring that up on your phone.
Just a couple days ago, it was released a new Alien Covenant poster. Very plain, very simple, to the point, and freaking amazing.
Now, is it okay? Where is this in the timeline?
This is after Prometheus, before the Alien movies, and I'm pretty sure now, and I think it's gonna focus more on kind of like the alien mythology.
So, is this a direct predecessor or sequel to Prometheus?
Yes.
Okay.
Plain and simple,
Let me see.
but beautiful at the same time.
Nice.
Just
and that's such an old school
beautiful
thing, right? Because remember, for Aliens, it was just the egg.
just the egg.
Remember that?
The little pod, the egg, and the light coming out of it with tagline in space. Nobody can hear you scream.
How amazing was that? Just simplistic.
Easy. This one's just got the xenomorph just coming out of the darkness, like
The penis head monster
head.
alien.
and it just says run, and the release date May 19th.
I like it.
It's like happy birthday to me.
Yeah, that's cool,
That's
man.
another movie for me on my birthday month. I'm excited for this one because it's
And it's the same director.
Ridley Scott, right?
Really, Scott.
Ridley Scott.
So you know it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. Hopefully,
Which means a bunch of jump scares too, though, because he loves his jump scares. And he's seen transitions where it's just a panning to the side. He does that on a lady.
I haven't picked up on that. I didn't notice.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, it does kind of lean more towards the alien mythology as opposed to that Prometheus mythology that he set up. I saw the movie maybe once when it was in theaters. I didn't get it.
I have
wasn't too big a fan of it.
I have it on Blu-ray, and I watched it a couple times. I liked it.
I might have. It's one of those I might have to rewatch to enjoy more and understand more.
It's pretty cool because it really shows that alien wasn't a biological weapon. That's biological weapon. So swords. Because of its creation and it all its movies. This is what it's turned out to be. You know, Alien versus Predator.
Well, those weren't even his movies. They were just
No.
using that character.
No, but the way the character's always used is like a weapon type of deal. In Prometheus, that's what it was. Prometheus.
I thought it
Weapon.
focused more. It seemed more. Again, I just saw it the once. I didn't get it too much, but it seemed more theological, kind of like touching on religion and gods and the creation of man type of thing. Didn't seem to, from what I remember, that trailer seemed more of a horror movie, but the movie didn't seem to fit that trailer that I was hoping to go and
Oh,
see.
I don't recall the trailer, so it definitely wasn't definitely not a horror movie as
No.
type of deal. It was more of a thriller.
More of a suspense thriller,
Yeah.
sci-fi suspense. Yeah.
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 So, but it played upon. Well, you find out its creators in the end. I mean, the alien-looking mother that they awoken somehow.
Those like
Tall
human
beings.
being type
Yeah.
giant. Those are the creators of the aliens.
Yes.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those I have to watch again. I think I actually will.
You kind of remember it now. It was a giant ship with all the eggs,
Uh-huh.
and it was meant to land somewhere. So it was kind of like that's what it was. It's just an experiment that they were trying. I believe either were trying to get rid of or.
I'll definitely have to watch it again, especially before Alien Covenant, because to see if just in case there is some sort of storyline that weaves into some of
Mhm.
that, like just to kind of refresh,
Mm-hmm.
probably understand it more. But that poster is just awesome. That's one I'd buy and hang up on my wall.
That's gonna
For
be
sure.
cool. I can't wait for that.
May
And,
19th, 2017.
mhm.
Yep, yep, yep.
You got Green Lantern, Justice League.
Did you hear about that?
No.
If you guys are hearing some background noise, we have a little visitor with us today. There has been rumor, I don't know where it came from, how it started, why, but there's possible appearance of a Green Lantern or Green Lantern Corps members
Or a mention of them.
to appear in Justice League. Actual members, unknown who is going to be. And I don't know where this rumor came from, but it was just like hot off the presses a few days ago.
I remember reading somewhere. You're right. I remember reading somewhere that there will be Green Lantern or lanterns,
Yeah.
but I don't think they ever mentioned the Key Lantern.
Well, we know there's going to be a Green Lantern Corps movie in 2020. Nobody's been cast like the way they've cast The Rock for a movie 4 or 5 years from now. We still don't know any Green Lantern news other than 2020, we're getting a Green Lantern Corps movie. Don't know which one of the members are going to be in it. Like Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, Guy Gardner type, Kyle Rayner. Any of those names were mentioned, but the news that just came out a couple days ago is that, hey, rumor is we are going to have an appearance of a Green Lantern or Green Lanterns in the Justice League movie, which would be freaking awesome if that did happen.
Or if their appearance just turns out to be a mention. Oh, there's something about a corpse.
There might be a mention, a little
yeah.
Easter eggy type
Yeah.
feeling, but bless you. But that'd be freaking pretty cool because it's like, I don't know about you, but waiting is like, okay, it's 2020, you kind of forget about it. Okay, yeah, there is a Green Lantern Corps movie out in the works, out in the ether somewhere, but it's like, okay, it might be something, touched upon this soon already, next year,
Right.
towards the end of next year for Justice League. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Because we see something, then things will start rolling, and we get more casting news and what Green Lanterns are going to appear in this world now.
Or maybe Green Lantern is so tainted from now that it won't be touched until 6 years later.
That's so weird if that's what they're actually doing. Like, they're so afraid of anything Green Lantern related because of what happened with that movie,
And
which
they can't.
isn't the worst movie ever
'Cause
made.
They can't. Look at Ryan Reynolds' original Deadpool. That was a travesty.
Yes, that was.
That was a travesty. But look at it now. Just be cool with reinventing yourself and stick. They just stuck to what Deadpool really was.
But it's the studio heads. It's those studios people that don't know these worlds, don't
But-
know these
but
characters because.
It shouldn't be studio heads anymore.
But they messed with that first Deadpool.
They did.
And
But I'm talking about now.
Second iteration of Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds spent 10, 11 years trying to get this done, and they're kind of like, whatever, go for it. So it's these studio heads that are messing with it. They messed with the Green Lantern movie.
Right.
So for them to, I don't know, it seems weird to me that Warner Brothers is kind of like afraid of touching Green Lanterns because of what happened before.
I thought they've already, and like I said, that was in the past where they were messing with it. But they should. I mean, they had to learn their lesson by now. You got Jeff Johns heading up the studios now.
Well, yeah, Jeff Johns had a hand in that first Green Lantern movie.
I know, but
But now he's kind of
head guy.
kind of the Kevin Feige
Yeah.
of the DC world. Yeah, along with I forget his name, Kevin Tsuchihara, I believe. He's the head of like the DC department of Warner Brothers Films.
So we shall see.
But I hope that's a rumor that kind of
Pans
turns out to be true. I hope if maybe even just like an end credit sequence type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, some mention or somebody, or you see a ring pop up or something, or a ring fly by.
Yeah.
Or I was like listening to others talk about this, and that'd be cool if it was like an end credit sequence for kind of like a mini origin of like the lantern we do see at the end is Aben Sur, and he comes to Earth and he dies,
You see
and
the
then
ship
it's
coming
like
in kind of deal.
and like kind of like the almost like the origin-y type of thing, or like okay, this is the beginning of the Ring finding the new lantern possibly.
Or they got Sinestro in there. What's that dude that played Sinestro?
Mark Strong.
Jesus, he's such.
That across the board, everybody's been like, they should bring Mark Strong back to be Sinestro, because
that was the best part of the movie.
that was perfect casting for that
It
character.
was.
Perfect casting. That was the makeup job on his character face, because he had the CG suit also
course.
kind of was lame, but the practical effect of making
No.
him look like Sinestro.
And one thing, practical effect, and he really did a great job with the role.
He did. That character.
And we can say, oh, Ryan did look like hell,
I-
but
yeah.
he didn't bring that character to the screen. I mean, I read plenty of comics of Hal. You've read Hal Jordan,
I've read some Hal Jordan. Yeah.
so it didn't. Hal Jordan was never being a comedic kind of guy. He's very serious.
He's more the straight man. Like from what I've seen, is more Justice League interactions with Hal Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
He's been the comedy as being the straight man with the Flash,
Correct.
because the Flash is the quippy,
Yeah,
smart alecky
and
guy.
Hal Jordan's always been that guy that that fire. I always thought of like a firefighter personality, kind of cop thing, like hero mentality. He goes, everybody's going one way, running away from the situation. He's diving headfirst.
Well, yeah, that's
without
his thing
willing-
is the
And I know it's part of the superhero,
fear and will.
but he'll be the first one to give his life if it should arise that he needs to give his life up.
Although he has been the joke cracky type of guy when he's with Batman, because Batman is even
I think
more
everybody
of the
has
straight
to.
man.
I think everybody has to.
'Cause
Next to
Batman
Batman,
Everybody's the stand-up comedian.
there's
next
too
to
much
Batman.
frowning in this. They can't. But anyways, we'll see what's up. Now this is pretty funny, which you just showed me
This you
an
did.
hour ago. So Alpha 5 and Rita Repulsa.
Did you see those Rita pictures also?
Yeah, with her staff. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's like just more still images of Rita, kind of in like kind of promo shots, not movie shots of her in her outfit. It's like, wow, that's pretty cool, I guess.
I have no complaints on that. Alpha 5 though. Well,
It's just interesting.
it is weird. Let's be
Weird.
honest, weird. And I recall Alpha 5 from the show. It was a most flamboyant gay robot, which is cool. Whatever, no big deal.
Yeah,
But it was wacky. It was definitely for kids. The whole ay 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 kind of
so
deal.
flailing his arms about.
But it's
and-
funny that because he had that weird hip walk. He had that weird
Yeah.
walk, and you look at the character design, and you can tell they designed it to have that hip walk. I mean, it's weird to say, but you can see it. You
In
can
the
see
image.
the image,
Just
with
the image, the
hip
way
walk.
his hips like protruding forward.
Yeah, it's
He's
like-
got a weird stance with the arms back,
Yeah,
kind
so
of.
definitely gonna have that hip walk.
But yeah, it's such a weird looking thing with like the headlights.
But this is
for
only
eyes
character
and-
design.
I think that's the actual finished design.
Really?
Yeah, it's been released. The first look at Alpha 5. Yeah, showing off an updated but
So we'll
familiar
see
look
how
to
that
classic character.
translates into.
Like looking at it, it's like really super weird. But then it's kind of, okay, these Power Rangers are alien. This was always like an alien,
Right, and Zordon. Have you
robotic
seen it?
character. Those Zordon, I don't think they've released anything, have they?
A toy of it. I think that's how it was leaked or something. Look up Zordon. Look,
I'll look that up right now.
it looked
Yeah,
pretty weird too.
yeah. Just the first vibe of this Alpha 5 picture was like, okay, this is weird looking. But then it just settles. It's like, oh, it is alien. It is. It does. You can, like you said, looking at this image, you see that flamboyant characteristic of it that you knew from the TV show. So it's settled in. It's just still weird looking. it's settled in. But again, like after seeing that trailer and more of the being that Bill Hader is voicing Alpha 5 and Bryan
Mm-hmm.
Cranston is Zordon, it's like, yeah, I'm actually really wanting to see this movie more and more.
Anyways, on to the next. Sebastian Stan.
Mm-hmm.
He put a picture of him walking around, on the hallway with a Captain America shield.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, I saw like the little headline about Winter Soldier gets his own shield. Clicked on it. Yeah, it's like cool little image. Who knows what he's like in offices.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a little joke on there, like, "Hey guys, where's the bathroom?" But he has like the shield,
Yeah.
just like the vibranium with just the silver star. And
So that was pretty cool.
It's,
Like,
it's just very similar
so
to
like-
Captain's shield, but
Mhm.
without the red. It's just the silver. That was pretty cool.
so Captain
That
can
was
have
nice to see.
an extra shield for. But anyways, that's cool that he has a shield.
I wonder if that's actually like legit and that'll show up in the movie.
It looks pretty cool how like that type of shine it has on that shield.
It's just like his arm vibranium, but it's very clean,
Yeah.
very bright and
It looks
shiny.
pretty cool, right? Having
like
that shield like that, uncolored. But oh, can't wait. So you were mentioning that on the Back to the Future that they're gonna say the producer's been saying that he doesn't want a reboot.
Yeah,
This is the first time I've seen it, so I don't know.
first time you've been hearing it.
Have
I've
you
heard
said
it
that before?
3-4 years. Yeah, Robert Zemeckis has like literally said, "Oh, as long as I'm alive, this is not going to be rebooted or touched." I was like, "Over my dead body,"
That's
type
awesome.
of thing.
And like I said, I'm a fan with reboots, but I'm also accepting that some movies just are better remain classics.
So yeah, same goes with like the type of like some movies shouldn't be remade, as some movies shouldn't have sequels.
Correct.
Like just yesterday, Don't Breathe came out on video, and there's been kind of rumors going about that there might be a sequel. It's like that's one movie I don't think should have a sequel.
That was the people stealing, right?
That's with the three kids.
That was the people stealing, right?
Yeah, it was 3 kids stealing from the blind guy. But what happened with that little Don't Breathe business is the director and like producers kind of came up with a synopsis or somewhat of an idea of like, oh, we kind of have an idea what we could do for a possible sequel. And then you know how just the internet grabs onto news and it's
No.
like, oh, there's going to be a Don't Breathe sequel. Same goes with like, there's just some movies that really, they're like perfect the way they are. And I don't see it being any better
I like the way it ended,
or just as good as the original, like this Back to the
Right.
Future news kind of thing.
and the way it ended. Of course, there's not 100% closure in this type of movies.
You're talking about Don't Breathe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You know, there's always like leaves a little like, oh my god, no, kind of situation. And spoiler alert, I'm just gonna say that if you haven't
Yeah.
seen it, but it's been out for long enough. Seeing that he was still alive was pretty cool. And I mean, if you think about it, it's a sequel. Do we really need to see this old man again? No,
Not for this movie.
no.
No, this one doesn't need a sequel because I do love the way it ended. Because like, okay, yeah, he's alive. It's like, oh, okay, but oh, wait a minute. It's like he can't really do nothing
Because he murdered and butchered and
because
blah, blah, blah.
she has like stuff on him, you know. So it's kind of like the director said at this like kind of, you know, like director's Q&A type of thing is like this movie kind of ends in a tie. Because this girl gets away with the money, and
But-
she has this secret on him that you know
True.
what he's done.
She lost the boyfriend. She lost da 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 da. You know.
Which
a piece
wasn't
of
really
her-
her motivation so much in the beginning. It was like to get out of town with her sister because of her home life. The boyfriend was just cool boyfriend thing, and her best friend or whatever. But
Right.
got
Or-
the money, and she gets to
Oh,
go.
the best friend. There you go. That's
Yeah.
what it was. The best
And
friend.
she gets to get away with it, and you know, and it's like this mutual agreement
And,
of like,
and you're right. It's a lose-lose situation. There wasn't. I mean, there wasn't a clear winner. You can say she left with the money, but Jesus, what she saw, what she had to do,
just the same way.
losing people, friend and boyfriend, and the guy. He lost his money. Not that he really cared for, but the motivation for him to keep on living was his prison.
his prisoner to, you know, repay him for the lost daughter.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, throughout this movie, we're still talking about Don't Breathe after starting off Back to the Future, but is like you don't know who exactly to root for, but you are rooting for somebody because in the beginning, these three punks are breaking into this poor guy's house,
Yeah.
and
And
then
you're like, they deserve
then
everything.
you see
The only guy you root for is the friend who's just trying to get his.
kind of he kind of has like a nice guy where he's like he's got morals
Mhm.
in as I mean in this little scenario,
Mhm.
he's got the most morals out of the three of them.
Yeah.
And then when you see what the blind guy has, his secrets, his dark past and
Which was a
motivations
trip.
are like you're rooting for this guy to begin with because these punks are breaking into his house, and then it's like, oh, now he's got this thing, and it's like, are you rooting for these punks that broke into his house now to survive and get out of there somehow? But this just that dynamic of these characters, like who do you choose or who do you like or who should win, who should lose? But the way it turns out at the end is like, yeah, it's a tie, and they both have something on each other that they can't really, it's like,
Yep.
it's a hey, just a wash
Yep.
kind of thing.
But anyways, no sequel. No, I don't want a sequel from that.
I don't want, yeah, as far as like, I can't. I mean, to begin with, I'm not a storyteller, so I couldn't even imagine what to come up with a Back to the Future type
No.
of new reboot.
Like
Because-
like I said, I was all for the Ghostbusters reboot. I was like, yeah, I can see that. You know.
Yeah, because this is a bigger world that you can expand
Yeah.
on. Because this is years in the future. New
You-
characters
and
can
you-
take up
and
the mantle.
Exactly. You can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
And Back to the Future, we're just mainly on these people's lives, not lives, but lives surrounding this car kind of deal.
Because there's no way you can match these characters. You can't recreate a personality like Marty McFly or Doc.
And it's you're dead on the nail there, because remember the original Marty was somebody else. And
That's true.
And the chemistry
He was
just,
recast.
yeah, and his chemistry wasn't there, and that's what made the movie work, is the chemistry that they both have.
Yeah, and what they brought to the characters that who they are,
Mm-hmm.
and then just such an imaginative story and
Right.
in some way original story of this crazy scientist who creates this time machine, and it's just these characters and this world that's been built is I don't see it being able to be recreated and matched evenly.
No.
To
So
be able to enjoy it, like, oh, this is a new Back to the Future world.
and looking at that, I'm glad they're not going to redo it and things
Yeah.
like that. And sticking to this theme about reboots and stuff like that, and part twos, stuff like
Sequels.
that, sequels. Sicario, you've seen this movie?
I actually have not seen that
Oh
movie.
my god, are you serious?
And it's one of those that I've been wanting to see because it looks so awesome, and I've heard word of mouth is so awesome.
Bro, Jesus Christ, man, this movie is one of my favorite movies of this year. It is a roller coaster of action. You need to just this week, man. Do it this week. Do it at work. Watch it in spurts.
I actually, I don't know what happened, but I've actually rented this movie. Like, it was like a deal on like the Google Play. I've
Uh-huh.
actually rented it, had it on my phone to watch, but just had not been able to get to see it.
So you can still see it on your phone. Because
No, because it was a rent and it only was like for 48 hours or something like that.
oh,
But,
what?
yeah, it was $2. But yeah, it's one of those that's on my list of like have to watch because it looks so awesome.
So I'm not gonna spoil it for you, if it hasn't been spoiled for you.
No.
But there's a sequel already working. They're trying to do it into a trilogy, which I'm
Really?
I'm okay with. You watch the movie and you'll be okay with it.
Because like the main character that's going to be Benicio del Toro's character, right? Because I saw a picture of like
For
talking about the
Soldado?
sequel. Yeah.
Yes,
And he's like the main image in
and
that.
you're gonna see why you want to see that. So you're definitely gonna want to know that. Oh, no door.
Knock knock.
Anyways,
But this is something that you're looking forward to. Like this one should have a sequel because of this character.
because of that character, and it's one of the ones where I would like to explore more, get to know this character more. Because in Sicario, you explore more with Emily Blunt, and she's literally she's pretty much on the roller coaster. She's hanging on to this roller coaster ride,
Uh-huh.
and then she just put out of her element, and it's just an amazing movie.
Kind of an older movie that I've been told I should watch so many times. It's another Emily Blunt movie. It's that one with Emily Blunt and Matt Damon, where they're kind of like on the run from the Adjustment Bureau.
Oh, you haven't seen that
I
one?
haven't seen that one. I heard that's another good one.
Jeez, man, she's such she's so, oh God, I could say it better. Stuttering problems here. She's such a good action female actress.
She's good with the action roles.
You know, live, die,
Live Die
repeat.
Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow, as it
Which is
originally
gonna
was.
be getting a sequel, which is cool.
That one. What did I hear? That one does like some news came out about it a couple weeks ago. Oh, because Doug Liman, who directed that, is attached to direct the Justice League Dark movie for Warner Brothers. In kind of like all that news that came out, he was talking about because he's directing the sequel to that, Edge of Tomorrow. He said, "What did he say? Something about that movie's gonna be like a sequel type prequel." So like
It fits
because of the whole
good-
time.
That's awesome,
the
bro.
time
I'm cool with
repeating
that.
thing,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. When I heard that, I was like, of course.
I'm a sucker
This
for.
is
I'm a sucker for time travel movies.
time travel movies are
like
a trip.
like on Netflix, I'll search like time travel, and I've seen so many movies.
Have you
bro.
seen one of my favorites? Is Chrono Crimenes? Have you seen
No.
that one? Time Crimes.
Uh-uh.
That was on Netflix. I don't think it's on anymore, but that's worth finding and watching.
Some Spanish
That-
film?
It's like a Spanish film. Yeah, Chrono Crimenes, meaning time crimes. It's a freaking awesome,
I'm cool with that,
mind-bendy,
bro.
mind-bendy time travel movie. Awesome. That one. Look for it.
I'll watch, bro. Jesus, there's like I said,
I'll do
I'll
my
go through my
homework. I'll
phases
do my
and-
homework. I'll watch Sicario this week, and then you watch Time Crimes.
Alright,
Look for
I'll do
Time
that.
Crimes. Like another one, Looper. That's another good one.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of timey movies, and even Emily Blunt's in that movie. Because I'm going through that list, but yeah, Live Die Repeat. She was Sicario. She's in those actiony. She plays a lot of action roles.
good, man. So no, God, there's cats fighting outside, making love. I haven't seen this, the
Turn
Kong
the hose on
trailer.
'em. The Kong trailer, Skull Island.
Let me
The
watch
trailer
that right
number
now.
2
You
was
keep
released.
talking. Well,
So you can go ahead and watch that. I will edit out the little minute and a half ish to get your reaction on that. But it looks really good.
I'm getting excited for this movie, dude. Looks pretty cool. It has Miss Marvel in it and everything. So Miss Marvel and Loki.
Yeah, that's funny. All this Marvel universe, the superhero universe, is like growing so big with all these actors that once you see them all together in just different movies, it's funny. Like now they're just
It's
that
a trip.
role.
You know
like,
what's a trip though? When was Robert Downey Jr.'s role? Like 10 years ago?
which one? The
Iron Man?
Iron Man, the
Like 9 years
2008.
ago, 2008?
Yeah,
It ask an A-lister, hey, do a superhero movie. I mean, it's not like on their priority thing. You know what I mean? They were like, I guess. You know, it just wasn't a thing. But now they're just like, hey, would you? People asking me, Robert Downey Jr., not Robert De Niro, saying, hey, I wouldn't mind being in a superhero. Like
they
think
all
about that.
want all one piece of it. Yeah,
they do, and yes, it's kind of bandwagon. But also, these are good movies too. You know, there's some great movies in here. It's not like, hey, you know what? Put me in this movie just to make it's fun. So people are having blasts with these characters. Like I told you, once they take this role, you see how a lot of characters have fun with that.
because probably the biggest names in those type of movies before were like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen with the X-Men movies, and then you have Tobey Maguire and William Dafoe with Spider-Man. Like those started like really showing you what these comic adaptations could become in movie form.
Patrick Stewart is a very decorated actor too.
Oh, he's been around for the longest time in such a wide range, like on stage and
Shakespearean actor, too.
Shakespearean stuff. Yeah.
All right, watching it now.
Are photos of an island in the South Pacific, a place where myth and science meet.
And this movie is actually because you know how they're creating the universe of Godzilla and King Kong.
Yeah.
So
Scientific instruments.
you guys listening to us watch that trailer. What a world.
Jesus, such a violent monkey. I like that blood on the mountain type of look.
The handprint.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
If you
John Goodman,
Another awesome actor.
Sam Jackson, John C.
John C.
Reilly.
Reilly's in this.
Surprise.
Kong's pretty good, kid. Keeps himself mostly. You don't go into someone's house and start dropping bombs unless you're picking a fight. Kong's God on the island.
Now, is this taking place after? Like, is this in the Kong universe, or are they just doing Kong trailer? Like Kong. Like,
Godzilla?
where does this? Yeah, like, is this in the same?
This is modern day.
So did King Kong happen in this world? Did that really happen?
Oh, the Peter Jackson King Kong?
Uh-huh.
No, that's kind of standalone.
Okay, so this is
This is a new universe starting with Godzilla because they want to create this Godzilla King Kong universe where they face off,
wow. They're showing a lot more bigger beasts now.
right? Where they show all these big old dinosaurs and
Yeah,
monsters on this island.
yeah. Wow. Ooh. All right, so this is definitely whole new world then.
Whole new has nothing to do with the Peter Jackson King Kong.
Okay. Wow. Cool.
Doesn't that look pretty cool?
That looks amazing.
I love like the other creatures in there, the big old monsters.
That's what I
and-
like.
and
But it's
just
funnier
that
seeing
monster
the whole cast
universe.
now. John T. Riley. That's awesome. That's funny.
Yeah, how he pops up. He's gonna be the comic relief in this, obviously.
Yes.
Obviously.
Obviously. What is his name? Dr. Drool.
Yeah.
Can I get a sample? He gives him. You ever seen that one where they're trying to take a semen sample, but they don't say semen. He's like, "Can I get a sample?" He comes back, it's urine. No, not this kind of sample. Oh, comes back and it's feces. And he's like, "No, I need semen." Oh, and he goes, "From my dingus." Yeah. Oh, that's funny. But this movie is looking good, man. Now I gotta check out the other trailer.
That's a cool looking big old Kong action movie.
Justice League Dark.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this came out 2 weeks ago. Let's check that out. What do you think so far of that Justice League trailer?
I look forward to watching it. The only thing I'm not a fan of is the voice actor for Batman. But everything else looks pretty cool. It's like you'll see after it's done.
Seems like they keep the same animation team, huh?
Yeah.
Same style, I should say.
These crimes were committed by law-abiding citizens.
They all have seen nightmare visions beforehand. The same pattern is repeating around the world, so there could be an overriding paranormal element.
Are you talking about magic? Then we have to find John Constantine.
What is that, the House of Mystery or something like that?
Into the house! Come on, it's a dream team. You, me, Zatanna, Batman, maybe even a Justice League. Let's take a walk on the dark side then.
I like Constantine's voice acting. He did some Doctor Strange stuff. It looks pretty cool.
Your life is a patchwork of blackness with no time for joy. How do you cope with it?
What I do like
What
is
do you hate about Batman's voice? I don't mind it.
it's just
It's not broody enough.
it's not what I'm used to. I don't
It's too light.
No, it seems like
Huh?
it's trying too hard.
Really?
It sounds like it's trying too
I
hard.
got the opposite. Like, okay, I feel like he's playing it a little bit lax.
It's the same guy who did the Batman in. Have you seen Assault on Arkham, Son of Batman, like those previous Justice League movies? Mm-hmm. It's that same actor. I can't remember his name right now, but I'm just not a fan of the performance because to me it feels like he's trying too hard. I do like how Matt Ryan, the actor who played Constantine in the show, is the voice of Constantine in there. And I would have preferred a Justice League Dark team with just those members as opposed to Batman being there too. Like, it would just keep it a Justice League Dark team. Why is like it's almost like Batman's kind of like the central focus that brings the team together to help him, as opposed to it being that team of the supernatural Justice League. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. We have a release date for the Blu-ray DVD release.
When is it?
February 7th of 2017. So,
Damn, that's a long
but we
time.
got that's 2 months from now.
It'll become quicker though. So
Speaking of, actually, happy birthday to Kevin Conroy today that we're recording this. Is Kevin Conroy's birthday, the voice of Batman. That's what I like hearing as Batman.
that's cool.
This place is falling apart.
It's probably from
But,
here.
yeah. But I look forward to it. It's just that Batman voice actor I'm like meh about. But that's cool that they're, that they have this just like other characters in this DC world, DC universe.
God, that Cars trailer is
That
pretty dark.
got me the most interested in this Cars universe that I've ever been in my life. I saw the first one after it had come out on DVD already, like at a friend's house because they have kids and like they just put it on and
First
we all
one was
sat around
great.
and watched it. It's like, oh, it's a cool movie. I could see
Second
it.
one was whack.
Second, I never saw it because I just had no interest in this
Don't
world.
see the second one.
As far as these Pixar characters, like the Incredibles was amazing. Finding Nemo was awesome. The Toy Story characters, but Cars is just like it didn't really interest me that well.
I
that
I
much.
watched the first one.
I would.
2 was horrible.
I
Don't
saw
watch
it. It was fine. I would never want to watch it again. Second one, no interest in watching. But just this trailer for this third one is like I've never been so interested in this Cars world than I have after seeing this 1 minute of footage.
Yeah. And it's all over the posters. Just seeing what's his name, fucking
It's Lightning McQueen.
Mike McQueen crashing. It almost reminded me of Days of Thunder.
That looks so awesome. Just that you hear that crash happen, and then you're just seeing the track, and then just overhead you see the car flipping and parts and coming over, and it says from this moment on or something, everything will change. It looks like so dark. It's like, what is going on with these Pixar movies now? Are they? But I love what has come out of it. It's been one of my favorite memes. Have you seen it? The
No.
Marvel DC comparison.
Uh-uh.
Like they have how they make fun of Marvel being so fun and light and DC so dark is exactly that. You see Cars 1 image of like Lightning McQueen up in the air with his tongue out, and then you see this image of Lightning McQueen dark, dying, flipping, and it just has the post of like one image is Marvel, one image is DC, which like explains it's like so dead on with the whole poking fun at that stuff. But I've never been so interested in the Cars movie than I have just because of this. And I look forward to seeing a full-length trailer to see what that's all about.
I can't wait for the trailer. Such a dark thing, though.
Because now I'm curious about what is going to change from this moment on.
He's probably going to be injured, and he's going to be coaching someone else to win.
But do you think this whole movie will be in that kind of dark? Because even the animation of it doesn't look as cartoony or childish.
It looks very realistic, more.
Yeah.
It's probably going to deal with him and beating diversity, not diversity, but adversity. There we go. Just being all down because he's injured, to recuperating and winning the big race. That's what I see.
Already, I don't know. I'm already kind of losing interest now if that's what it's going to be. Because now all of a
Right?
sudden,
Makes sense, though, right?
but now all of a sudden, I just pictured Larry the Cable Guy again, like the character of Mater. Is like, oh, is he still going to be that same
Of course, Mater's gonna be in
wackadoo
there.
sidekick thing? Is like, oh yes, I'm losing interest now.
Of course, he's gonna be in there.
I'm losing interest now.
Anyways, what do you got for Deadpool?
Do you not know about this?
No.
They picked their director. So Deadpool has a director now. It's the director of John Wick 2.
Okay, yeah. I heard about that. Oh my god.
David, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but David Leitch.
Perfect.
David Leitch. Yeah, once I heard that, I was like,
Perfect.
yeah, that's...
Maybe he can. Jesus, could you imagine Ryan Reynolds taking those gun shooting lessons and showing Deadpool as I mean, think about it. John Wick is Deadpool with the guns, and how precise he is and methodical he is. Because that's what Deadpool is in the comics. He's an assassin. Legitly just on point with his shots.
But I don't see so much what they created, the gun fu for John Wick. I see him that master marksman.
Yes, not the
but
gun fu.
But yeah, it's just a complete different, because it's different personalities. John Wick is very serious, very, straightforward, dark. I'm gonna kill you if you get in my way, and just complete 180 different personality that is Deadpool. But I can, as far as the action sequences, I can see they are gonna be amazing, just as amazing as the John Wick movies and that Deadpool movie.
Right. So
But
that's
yeah,
awesome.
just hearing like, oh yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's a perfect pick for Deadpool, to be directed by this guy. The John Wick movie was freaking awesome, and this sequel looks just as cool with that trailer we saw. So that's moving ahead with Deadpool. So hopefully it'll come out as scheduled, and like
which is next year, isn't it?
no delays. I think maybe later next year. If that's
thought
something
it
I'll have
was
to
next
double check.
year.
Yeah. But hopefully there's no delays, because we got our director on board, and let's get it moving. Hopefully that script was done and they were ready to get started. Well, you know what? We still don't have a actual cable, if cable's going to be in the movie.
Oh, that's right. That was the big deal with so for sure won't be next year. So
Because Fox has scheduled, they kind of released like, oh, we have movies coming out this day and this day and this day for the next 2-3 years, kind of like unknown what movies are going to be in those slots. But I think one of them was that Deadpool slot, but
I
it's
remember-
not officially said as Deadpool's date.
That's what I thought. That was just like he was slated for next year.
Yeah, I think so.
But
It's already almost next year, so that's gonna be.
that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm cool with it for 2018 release, early rate, as long as they work on it good.
As long as they do it justice and like kind of.
And so continue what they're doing. Let's just say that continue what you've been doing.
Yeah.
What Assassin's Creed?
Did you see that new trailer that came out?
No.
There was no new trailer. If you want to go ahead and look that up.
Any big difference? I mean,
A little more with the story beats. A little more with the action. I mean, if you're already interested in watching this movie, it'll keep you interested. It's like,
Okay,
oh, cool,
now then.
new little bits and
I'm
pieces.
good without that. But
But that's already like coming out 3 weeks from now. So we got already Rogue One in about 2.5 weeks. And then after that is Assassin's Creed. A new trailer came out for Passengers, that sci-fi Jennifer Lawrence, Chris Pratt movie. That looks pretty cool. That was a little more interesting, seeing a little more to that story.
which was the movie that Keanu Reeves was trying to work at for a long time?
Was he? I don't remember that part of the story.
No. He was trying to get it made for a long time. I think he was even trying to buy the rights to it.
Really? Mm-hmm. You may have mentioned that before. That sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't remember too much.
We
about
talked about it a while ago.
Yeah. So that's unless you got anything more on the movie news.
No, that's it for the movies news. What do you got for TV?
TV, I've been catching up the best I can with my 1 or 2 free hours a day, just kind of catching up on the episodes I've been falling behind on. But, I mean, I guess we can go into this being the DC segment. But I've just been watching the Supergirl, Flash, Arrow on the CW, and these shows have been probably the best they've ever been. Definitely Supergirl has been a lot better than the first season.
Do you think
so
because it's-
freaking good?
Do you think it's because it's in a new network?
I think so. I think because it's on CW, who allows these shows to be what they are, and the writers to have like the free reign to like make, because they're these Supergirl and the rest of these shows don't take place in the same exact universe, like Earth 1 type universe. It was actually revealed last night. Supergirl is on Earth 38. But to be able to have this character now and to do what they want to do with this character is obviously notable. And to see the stuff that's going on these shows is freaking amazing. And this week is the crossover of all 4 episodes. They're doing the Destroyers storyline. This big old DC Universe crossover with the Destroyers. I think, is that what they're called? To begin with, Supergirl has been awesome this season. The characters that we have, it was revealed Martian Manhunter, he showed up last season. He's got like a big part this season too. We have character Mon-El from Daxon, who's like kind of in this mythology of Superman, Supergirl.
He's future, like a future kid, isn't he, Mano?
So he's got like a superhero alter ego also. I didn't really look that up too well. But they got Cyborg Superman. They got Lena Luthor on the show.
They got
There's-
Cyborg Superman.
I mean, just the first 2 episodes of season 2, they've had Superman on the show. Cyborg Superman's been on the show. Lena Luthor, mentions of Lex Luthor, big Luthor like storyline to this stuff going on. So this show has been awesome. Aside to the fact that Melissa Benoist, who plays Supergirl, is freaking amazing. She's awesome as his character, both Kara Danvers and Supergirl. She's like super adorable, and she's got like just that persona of wanting to be, you know, the super character, the big blue Boy Scout, and she's the big blue Girl Scout.
So
And
corny.
she's not corny. As Kara Danvers, she's got that alter ego Clark Kent type of silly, goofy personality, but super adorable. And as Supergirl, she's awesome.
Carol Danvers.
Kara Danvers,
Kara.
yeah,
I think you said Carol. I was like, that's.
it may have slipped out. Yeah,
You were saying Carol.
it may have slipped out, Kara, but Carol, but it's Kara Danvers.
Yeah, because you
That's
know who that is,
Supergirl.
right?
That's Miss Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, for a second, I was like, wait.
Which is kind of a rip. It's like, come on, Carol Danvers.
It
It's
is.
like, who,
Art imitations. They always copy each other. Let's be honest. God.
it's obvious, and it's known throughout the community. Like
Nobody cares.
the character biting and stealing.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about Deadpool earlier, who's an obvious ripoff and confirmed ripoff of Deathstroke.
Right, and it is just there's always you can't. How do I say this? There's only so many heroes you can do to the point where you can kind of like, oh, you got this idea from this. you
Yeah,
know?
even within this nerdy universe, the characters we read, there's a lot of the same things
Yeah.
going on. A lot of the same a lot of different characters have the same issues and same motivations and same
Right.
stuff. So we see it a lot, but it's
Like
no,
you see
it's no big deal.
characters who can fly. I mean, remember, Superman couldn't fly early on, and then it was like, oh well, let's just give him, be able to fly. Oh, he copied different. Whatever, no big deal.
Like, going back to TV shows, they're just so awesome to watch this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the first 2 episodes when they had Superman on, just the story where it leads up to Superman fighting alongside Martian Manhunter. They're fighting a Metallo. Because there's 2 Metallos that get created in this 2 arc episodes, and then Supergirl fighting with her sister Alex in this kind of like mech.
That's cool.
Kryptonite suit.
All right.
And they're fighting along. It's like
I need
the way it cuts
I
back
need
and forth.
I need to binge this world.
It's freaking awesome.
I need to binge this world.
Flash has been awesome this season. Arrow has gone back to the dark, gritty, murderous, vengeful Arrow from season 1, season 2 type thing.
Yeah.
So Arrow has been awesome, and like the fight sequences, because he doesn't have superpowers.
Okay.
So they're brawlers. They're down and dirty fighting. And
Yeah.
just the fight choreography, awesome. They gone away from like the last season's whole love story with him and Felicity. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I remember
watching that,
just from fans being in a huge uproar with this shit, like kill Felicity, get her off.
yeah, so she's back to being her Oracle type role.
Mm-hmm.
But the show has been just on the upswing again. Flash has been awesome because they're really dealing a lot more with the Flashpoint stuff that he did and the effects with the rest of his team, how it affected them.
Jesus, he
That-
just needs to stop time traveling. That's all he has to do. He just like,
But it creates so many awesome memes.
He even warned himself, "Don't do it." Like Jesus, bro.
If you really get down to it and think about Barry, he's like the dumbest guy.
I was
He's
gonna
like the
tell you. I was
dumbest
gonna say, okay. I was gonna say before you even said that, I was like, he's a little bit of an idiot
He
here.
is the dumbest dude. So selfish.
The dumbest smart guy you'll find.
But that's being shown in the show. Like his best friend that we've seen, Cisco, his best friend who's been in season 1 and season 2. Now in this season, he's like he doesn't trust him because of the ramifications of what happened with Flashpoint, because it's been revealed what happened, and they've all had different lives, and things have affected. So like his best friend doesn't trust him anymore, and
With making the right choices, I mean.
in general,
Oh,
just
really?
period, is like he's like, because we have this crossover going on right now, because Cisco now has full on vibe powers, and he helps Barry find Supergirl by vibing into different dimensions and different universes. So in the introducing, like, oh, this is my friend Cisco to Kara. He's like, well, friend is kind of a strong word. We're more like coworkers. And then like later on in the show, like when they get the team together to fight the aliens, Oliver's like, okay, we gotta pick a leader, like somebody we can trust. And then right off the bat, Cisco's like, I vote for Oliver. I trust him. Nobody else. It's like, ooh, just like a little, that
little
little
zingers.
stab in the back.
Little
It's like,
zingers,
ouch.
huh?
But yeah, for the last.
Cisco's a little bit of a fucking prima donna, bro.
But if you put yourself in his shoes, realizing that Barry has gone in the past 3 times for his own benefit,
I understand that
and
part.
everybody's life
I have-
is affected in
No,
some
no,
way.
I understand that part. But him being public about it, I trust only him, like, bro.
But that's only obvious to Team Flash. Is Barry?
Of course, and that's very prima donna of him.
Well, he actually. This came out in this crossover episode where it's like that huge team. This doesn't happen so much within the Team Flash episodes of just Flash standalone. There's bits of that, but just between him and Barry.
He's being sassy, bro.
Yeah, just between him and Barry. He doesn't do it with like Joe and Iris and Wally and stuff.
Sounds very sassy of Cisco. Cisco's being sassy.
I could understand it because of what happened.
Oh,
And I know.
I'm not saying no, don't do it. But I'm just saying he's being a little bit of a fucking sass.
It does kind of bug me because they don't have that relationship they had in the first 2
Which is
seasons,
cool,
which was
something new.
fun and
Something
awesome.
new, huh?
But I just hope it does kind of end up getting back to that.
I hope they never get back together again. And they just hate each other's guts for life.
They don't stop watching the show forever.
But
Yeah, these CW shows are freaking awesome to watch, and this crossover is so much fun to see what's going on. Having the Legends of Tomorrow show up in Flash's episode last night with the whole crossover with Firestorm and Captain Atom, which was cool because like you see Supergirl and Captain Atom, who's played by Brandon Routh, who played Superman. It's like that little geeky, like, oh, that's Superman. I wonder what he's thinking, seeing
he's
her.
like,
and
huh,
like, I
so
was Superman.
you wearing this suit, huh? Psh, I wore it
I would
first.
love to see like behind the scenes stuff about that's like hey, you know, like I was Superman and
Oh, Superman before it was cool. Meme.
before even that movie was cool.
Yeah. Haters are gonna say I never played Superman.
But yeah, I've been binging on that.
That's cool,
that
man.
Stuff, and
That's a lot of shit to watch.
It's I mean, 4 different DC comic shows in 1 week,
Yeah, huh? That's
Hour
a lot.
long.
Huh? That's a lot.
plus The Walking Dead.
Which I'm give it this month, and then I'll.
The last episode that we had was probably the worst episode.
Like,
The most boring episode, the most pointless episode.
oh, okay, it's a filler episode. Huh?
It is totally 100% a filler episode.
That's retarded. I hate that.
That was so that episode was so disappointing.
You're like, you wasted.
And
Because
I-
in your head, you're like, you wasted a show on this.
and that's one show that I don't gripe on. I mean, I know there are filler episodes
course.
within the last 6-7 seasons, but this episode was so just like I was actually just like on my phone, like playing my game or like looking up other YouTube videos. So it was just like so distracted.
You know what's worse? When you actually, right off the back, in 10 minutes and 15 minutes into the show, you're like, this is a filler episode.
Yeah.
Oh, it's garbage. Like when they have Christmas specials on shows and stuff like that. Oh, I don't know what present. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, like it totally doesn't
garbage.
fit in. It doesn't fit into that story.
Doesn't add
weave
anything
of,
to
like,
the
yeah.
story. It's just a story within itself. And you're like, oh my God.
There are 1 or 2 little things within that episode that's like you can see is like, oh, this was just put in there for what we know is going to happen. That's going to lead to something else. But it's like this whole episode was kind of like so boring.
Well, either way, I'm gonna let it give it some more before I do my catching up.
But the previous episodes have been just like really good.
That's cool, man. What you got for comics?
Comics too. In between my studying, reading breaks, I've been like picking up comics. I binged on catching up on the Flash. 10 issues of the Flash. Which was really cool. This is taking on, again, all this DC stuff that I'm reading is taking off from the Rebirth storyline. This Flash arc was freaking awesome. I loved it. It was, and it introduced me to one of my new favorite artists, Carmine Di Giandomenico. Absolutely loved what he did with this artwork. I actually posted a picture on my Instagram. You probably saw it, but if you look at my Instagram, you
I'll
see
check it out again,
a
yeah.
little collage of like, or just like the little flash, one of the Flash covers. But it was a freaking cool story because it takes place after Rebirth. We have Wally West, the original Wally West, back in the world, and he's kind of always on Barry's mind now. But this storyline is Barry, as I'm sure it's been told 100 times throughout Flash stories. His whole, he tries to be the hero. He wants to help everybody, but he can't be in two places at one time. I'm sure you're familiar with that kind of storyline of like his lack of ability of like being able to save everybody at once. So this kind of storyline, this main focus of Barry's anguish, where he's kind of talking to Iris and the old Wally West, like trying to manage these things of like rebirth happening and like
Right.
what's going on with his current life, and some fire is going on, so he's got to go help them. And at the same time, his fellow, because he's in CSI, his fellow, like one of his partners is in trouble. Like they get ambushed by somebody, so he's like, oh, he heard about that, so on his way he'll save these people from the fire, and then he'll make it in time to be there. But again, that theme of not being two places at the same time, he's unable to get back to
Which has
to his
always
partner
been
and save
part of
them.
the Flash thing.
Yeah, it's like
Except for the Speed God.
Savitar.
Speed God. Remember his partner? Or his friend that ended up being Speed God? I forget his name. The white
Godspeed.
Godspeed.
Yeah,
God.
that's his storyline. Have you read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. Just that whole
How he's actually able to be
the
in two
speed
places.
storm.
Yeah.
The speed storm comes over Central City and affects a ton of people in Central City, and like we have tons of speedsters, and then we have this new speedster who's Godspeed,
Yeah.
who I fell in love with.
Badass
because
white flashy.
who's
suit.
going and taking speed from
Yeah.
the speedsters throughout Central City and getting stronger and faster. And Barry's like trying to figure out like who's killing speedsters. And then at the same time, he's got his partner who was attacked was also affected by this storm, and like who's kind of helping and being trained by Barry. But then we find out at the same time that that's who is
And he could,
Godspeed.
And then he couldn't figure out, wait, how was this murder happening when you were with me? He goes, I figured out something you can never do is be two places at once.
Yeah.
And you're
That
like,
was
what?
freaking awesome. How he was taking it upon himself. Like, again, similar to other stories we've heard about, is like how these heroes don't kill. So we capture them, we send them to justice. But Godspeed is like, we have to kill these people. You're essentially saving these villains and putting them away. They get out and cause more havoc. We have to end this once and for all. So I'm taking it upon myself to kill these guys. So I'm doing something that you're not going to do. And Barry at the same time is like, you can't do that. You're not.
This was in Marvel that he'd be known as the Flash Punisher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's Godspeed is that Punisher of like, I'm taking that, I'm crossing the line that you're not. And it's just that whole conflict between them, and to find out that it was his best friend who he was training. It's like, and being two places at
Yeah.
the same time
That was cool.
was freaking amazing. Along with the fact that this guy's art is absolutely
Looks like
beautiful.
watercolor.
I
That's it.
love it.
Yeah.
It's like, so I like looked him up on Instagram, and he has very few posts, but it's kind of like just like works in progress that he's been doing, and like there's some flash images there. I'm just a huge fan of this guy's work now. I love his artwork, and I'm so excited to see what more he does. Another one I've been reading, Trinity, is only like on issue 3 right now, but I mentioned this before about the story with that is Poison Ivy like kind of captures Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and they all have these shared hallucinations now,
Right.
kind of going back into their past.
Meeting their old.
Yeah, and then I think this issue 2 actually, focused on Batman. So we go back to his origins of his parents' death,
Right.
and how that's affected him, and how he figures out like this something's up. This isn't a reality,
That's cool.
because
Because he trained himself how to figure things out.
like in this Gotham City, he's like, I'm like lost. I don't know where I'm at right now, but I'm seeing my parents get killed here. Is like, this something's up. You know, this is a hallucination or something
awesome.
because I never get lost in Gotham City. I
Yeah.
know every inch of this place, and so like now we're starting to figure out what's going on, and
Uh-huh.
we're gonna see. Hopefully, I think issue 3 is gonna focus on Wonder Woman and Themyscira and her kind of past and dark side, and eventually we'll see how they start getting out of this. And but that I like that Trinity.
So it's
Trinity
cool that they're
comic,
rebooting
that
this
storyline.
because Trinity's been they've always had this Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman thing.
Yeah, looking up Trinity, I saw like there
Oh, you
was
saw that?
there's been previous previous
Right.
storylines and previous stuff.
Previous versions of these.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So that's cool. American Vampire. You still reading that?
This is it's not really an ongoing series, but they come out every once in a while with an anthology,
Okay.
just like
Different stories.
a set
taken
of like
time,
short
place.
stories within this universe
Mhm.
that are in between stories that use some of these characters. So again, just kind of like I had some times like flipping through my, it's like, oh, I haven't read this latest anthology. Just reading that again is like, this world is amazing. And I've told you since probably our first recording, American Vampire is something I'm obsessed with. I love this comic series created by Scott Snyder. Also introduced me to two of my favorite artists, Sean Murphy and oh boy, why am I blanking on his name? But there's just this world that he created with the mythology of vampires. It is not your Twilight type vampires. This is actual horror
Right.
story vampires, and it's absolutely amazing. I cannot recommend to you or anybody else enough. Like, this is, if you're into dark stories and if you're
Right.
into horror stuff and if you like vampires at all,
Mm-hmm.
this is just brilliant as far as the mythology of vampires, how it takes the history of vampires and different types of vampires from different countries. You got your original vampires from like Germany or Europe,
Right.
and how they created again this American vampire. And then there's this type of vampire. There's Japanese vampires with different.
Mythology to it.
They have different skill sets and powers and transformations
That's cool.
and
Like
weaknesses.
different breeds of vampires.
Different breeds of vampires because they all have different weaknesses and strengths and stuff like that. So it's just reading this anthology again. It's got me back into it. Like, I've actually. There's one of the few comics that I've gone back to and started over again just to read because it's so freaking awesome.
Cool.
And it has one of my favorite characters that I've ever read in Pearl, one of the main characters from the originals, who's still alive, still going on.
Cool.
But yeah, this again, reading this is like, it makes me just want Scott Snyder to just kind of focus on this for a while. Like, just give me more of this, give me more American Vampire.
right.
But Raphael Albuquerque is that other artist.
Oh, okay.
So Sean Murphy and Raphael Albuquerque, because of American Vampire, it's like I love their work. Two of my favorite artists in comic books.
Cool.
Have you been reading anything?
No, I need actually to go buy. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Stop by the comic shop and get my pull list. Get some boxes.
Pick up also if you haven't Skyborn, check that one out. That's a good one.
Really?
I
Is that
mentioned
good?
I mentioned that a couple weeks ago.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen it. Is Skyborn pretty
It's
good?
at 2 issues, 3 issues. It's
Yeah.
really cool
Really? I'll pick it up.
because it's like superheroes with what is it like
That's
Merlin and like
is
with
it-
Excalibur.
is it
Frank Cho?
Skyborn. Was it what studios? Is it Boom?
Possibly.
I think it's Boom.
I can't think off the top of my head. I can look it up real quick, but
I want to say it's Boom Studios.
thinking maybe.
They're pretty good with their very mature content, which I like it.
It's a cool story so far. It's at issue 2, really cool.
I see, like I said, I've seen a lot of things about it. I've just never looked into it.
Yeah, that's one like I mentioned originally that Chris, the shop owner, is
Uh-huh.
like, "You're not reading that? Here, take it. If you don't like it, bring it back. We can swap it out for something else you want." And it's like, yeah, I came back the next day. He's like, "I'm here to pick up issue number 2."
All right, I'll give it a shot. Let's see what's up. I saw that Nintendo Universal thing though. That's pretty cool.
Boom Studios. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Skyborn is Boom Studios. Did you see the video on it? The Nintendo,
Mhm.
where what's his name? The head Nintendo guy, and like the Universal guy. Like we're kind of talking about
Bringing the world of Nintendo into Universal.
That's gonna be so cool.
That's cool, man.
That is gonna be amazing.
That's money. That's more exposure for Nintendo. So good for them.
And that's, I mean, I'm not sure how much more they need, but that's obviously going to be years away.
Of
'Cause
course.
It's barely just in the development. Like,
I
hey,
can only imagine what they can bring in though.
imagine, dude. Especially with the millions of
That's tugging on our strings, bro.
Mario worlds that they can do,
Oh.
Zelda stuff, like the Metroids, and just so much IP to
I
work
can't
off
wait
of.
until I put on a Samus foam blaster.
That'd be awesome.
Right?
It'd, like turn into a ball and just
Yeah.
like rolling like a ride or something. But that's exciting to hear.
You're gonna see Yoshi plushies. You're gonna see Mario plushies.
I'm already thinking about the merchandise, like how many new T-shirts we're gonna
Oh,
have,
yeah.
and Funkos and posters and just knickknacks all over the place. All this Nintendo stuff.
That's
Like
what Nintendo needs to do good with Funko.
they don't have any, do they?
Mm-mm.
They don't.
Mm-mm.
That's a good idea.
Uh-huh.
Funko, get on it.
Uh-huh.
You got my money.
Uh-huh. Cool. Anything else to add, bud?
Just video games. I'm glad I told you the other day about the sale
Mm-hmm.
for Batman Telltale.
Which I won't probably play until
You actually
next
bought
year.
it, so you have it, so you'll actually get to playing it soon.
I know. I'm not gonna
Eventually.
play it until it's all done.
If anything, next month at the latest, because these episodes have been coming out so quick.
I can't do that to myself. I can't be like, oh, it bugs me. That's why. What do you think I like to binge on stuff? Because it bugs me not knowing what's gonna happen next. That's what I did with The Walking Dead. I was like, just let it binge, and I'll binge it. With my daughter. or
I'm
something.
still old school, but it's unfortunate for me because I still like having that. Like you watch it and like, oh, you're into it and you're excited about it. It's like, oh, now I gotta wait.
Yeah.
And like, oh, talk to people about it, but they haven't. Like I have nobody to talk to about it because you haven't played it and you don't watch the shows at the same time.
But you got
It's
your
like,
partner now.
But yeah, I told my partner about the game and I already saw he's already caught up. So he's already actually passed me
There
because
you go.
episode 4 came out and I still haven't had time to play it.
See, there you go. All right, that'll be it for you guys.
Thanks again for joining us. If you
Yeah.
join us for these audio versions, I know we get views on our unboxings. Thank you for that.
Yeah, we do. We get quite a few views. Also,
Those are fun to
our,
make.
our main goal this year was to get this podcast going, and we're having fun with this. And I want to make it our next goal is for me to finish that garage
Uh-huh.
and make it like a little studio where we can actually start filming. I got my camera, so once we get it all figured out,
I've already been bits and pieces researching, getting better camera even for myself. Maybe we could have a 2-camera thing,
Yeah,
better
and-
mics off of that thing, and more into the video production.
yeah. So
Hopefully within.
and it's slow go, guys. I mean, we started quick, fast, and then just our lives have taken a slight pause because of our careers and
and
other stuff. But
schooling and
yeah, exactly.
the
So,
new baby and
Mhm.
yeah.
but we're
But the-
having fun.
But the fact that we started it and we're still doing it is
Yeah.
freaking cool.
God, I remember our first time. We're like,
You started. How are we gonna start it? You started.
Yeah, we started
I'll
sitting on
start
the
it.
couch. Thank you for those who have listened since the first time, and those who kick in and out. Thank you. I mean, we weren't really expecting anybody, even for one view, to really occur. We're doing this more because it gives us a platform for us to geek out and talk about things. If we weren't doing this on recording, we'd still be doing it in person.
Yeah.
We'd be doing it outside wherever we meet. So this just gives us an excuse to do it more often than not, and gives us an excuse to watch more shows and just an excuse to be more of ourselves. So and it's something we wear with pride. I mean, we tell our friends about it. I am not ashamed of it, none whatsoever.
It's
Like,
just like
people brought it up like, hey, so you do this? Like, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm like, yeah. What about it? Yeah, sure. Want to
And-
be on it? Oh, okay.
that's freaking cool. Yeah, we should have another guest on soon.
Yeah,
It's
we
been a
need to,
while.
yeah.
But yeah, just like the people at work that have listened here and there, like getting there, like, oh hey, I watched your thing.
And it's
or,
cool
"Oh, I
when they
heard
bring
the
that
thing. I
up,
was like,
yeah.
oh really? Like,
Yeah.
wow, man. Like, I genuinely appreciate the time taken to even clicking play, and if you're not into it within 2-3 minutes, that's awesome. But still, thank you for just at least giving it a shot. And for those of you that watch the unboxings and it's like comment on them and stuff, is like, it really genuinely thank you for watching. And it's fun even if nobody watches.
And
We're
I
just,
think-
like, just making these silly things
I want
is
to
cool.
I want to do a one giveaway towards the end, just at the end of the year, just for
I thought about that too. It's like, hey, kind of like
a little present for them.
kind of
little
like,
Christmas
hey, what episode did we mention that, just to get somebody to actually
Uh-huh.
go back and listen to it, to like win like something nice, something big.
Anyways, thank you guys. This is Los.
This is Drew.
Game over. Bye.
Adios. It got pretty touchy feely at the end there. Sensitive.
I gotta take a shit.